Chapter 3. A translated reply. The words from Raven's conversation echoed in Mina's mind as she drifted to sleep. No matter how bad life is, it is still something. It was the first time in weeks that her head hadn't been a whirlwind of anxious thoughts about her birth family. She slept better than she had ever slept before, a deep, restorative rest that left her feeling light and hopeful in the morning. As she came down for breakfast, her mom, Sarah, was waiting at the kitchen table, a solemn expression on her face. In her hands, she held a large manila envelope. "It came this morning," she said, her voice soft. "From the agency." A knot of anticipation formed in Mina's stomach, instantly replacing her morning calm. This was it. The moment she had been waiting for and dreading all at once. Sarah slid the envelope across the table. Inside, Mina found a 2-page document. The first page was a letter written in flowing, elegant Korean characters. The second page, stapled behind it, was a typewritten translation in English. Mina took a deep breath and began to read the translated page. The agency's message was direct and formal, but the words hit her like a physical blow. They had made contact with her birth family. Mina's birth father, Park Jun-ho, had been reached, but had unfortunately rejected any chance to meet. The news stung, a sharp reminder of the complex and painful reality of her search. But then, the next paragraph. Mina's birth grandmother had responded. She filled in a little information about the family and said she would be free to message back and forth. The grandmother, a woman whose existence Mina had only ever imagined, was now a real person, a potential connection. Mina reread the words, her mind reeling. Her father's rejection, her grandmother's acceptance. It was a dizzying mix of emotions. Sarah, watching her daughter's face, reached out and took her hand. "The agency said we can write back. We can send a message right now if you want. It's a start, honey. A real start." Mina just stared at the page, her mind still replaying the part about her birth father. "But my dad, he said no. And my mom didn't even reply." "For now," Sarah corrected, her gaze firm. "He said no for now. People change, Mina. Sometimes they just need time. They need to warm up to the idea. And just because he wasn't ready now doesn't mean he won't be in the future. The most important thing is that the door is open." "And your grandmother's response? That is a great first foot in the door." Mina felt a tiny spark of hope ignite within her. Her mom's confidence was contagious. She began to feel a little better, a little more capable of handling this news. "So you think she'll eventually want to meet me?" Sarah's expression softened, her voice dropping to a more realistic tone. "I think it's important not to be pessimistic, but it's also important to be a realist, sweetie. Your birth mom may need several weeks or even months to come around. She may also never want to meet. That's a possibility and we have to be prepared for it." She took both of Mina's hands in hers. "But here's the thing, Mina. Even if you never meet her, even if you never meet your birth father, this conversation with your grandmother is a way to get answers. It's a way for you to fill in some of those missing pieces. You can begin to get closure even if it's just from talking. You can start to understand your story, and that's what this was all about from the beginning." Mina looked at the translated page, then at her mom, and felt a rush of clarity. It was as if every last piece of the puzzle of her identity, which until now had been lying face down in a confusing mess, suddenly got flipped over. A puzzle with half the pieces up and half down. That was her life until this very moment. Until now, she had felt out of place, trying to work with what she could, piecing together a picture she couldn't fully see. But right here and right now, she was flipping over those final pieces. It may be years or even decades to get the picture exactly right, and in fact, there might always be a piece or two missing. But that was being a realist. The optimist in her said that she was doing the hard work and she knew she was going to finish this journey till the end. She thought about Raven and her words about rebuilding and working with broken pieces. Raven had learned to take the shattered pieces of her life and build something new, and now it was Mina's turn. She picked up the pen her mom had placed on the table, her hand steady. She began to write, the words flowing from a place of hope and courage she didn't know she had. "Dear Grandma, this is your granddaughter, Mina.